Hey guys, so I want to do a quick little speed and camera test comparison here between the new Nokia 7 Plus and the Nokia 8. Both you can have for about the same kind of price where I am, so they are quite interesting which one has the most advantages. I think both of them do have pros and cons. Like for example, you do get a bigger battery in the 7 Plus as well as a new camera system. But the Nokia 8 still comes with a better processor and arguably better display. So definitely some things to choose here. Props to Nokia for keeping the phones up to date. Just got an update on the Nokia 7 to Android 8.1. So not Android P, but I did want to put a nice wallpaper there ready for it. I think Nokia is going to be the first to actually update all of its phones to the latest software, which really puts LG, Samsung, etc. to shame. Look at that. Android 8.1 came down this morning. So we're just going to have a look here how they do compare. Both of them are fully up to date in terms of the software. I think we're getting Snapdragon 6 series, I think 636 or something in the Nokia 7 Plus. This is coming with 6 gigs of RAM because it is like an international model, so that might help the performance a little bit. So we'll just get rid of everything here. We do have open, and let's go. So yeah, as I said, I think the Nokia 8 does come with a slightly higher resolution display as well as more high contrasty, although the display obviously on the 7 Plus has like the bezel-less kind of design, but generally I think I prefer the Nokia 8 display. You know, overall, just looking at them head on here, it just looks slightly more high quality. I think there's some new features come down with the 8.1 update as well, so that is quite nice. Also pretty cool that Nokia is updating so fast with like a skin, because this is obviously an international model, as I said, so you can see there's no excuses there. We can have a look at some game opening. I think Nokia 8 was slightly faster here on most of them. You can definitely see the mid-range credentials here of the Nokia 7 Plus processor. But I think for the multitasking, the more RAM might actually help a little bit. Again, you can see very fast to load the game here. Another one. So this one was quite identical actually, didn't even see which one won that time. So yeah, I think the battery is nearly 4,000 in the 7 Plus compared to 3,000 in the Nokia 8. So that should, paired with a good economic processor, lead to some very good run times. But if you're looking for the raw speed, you can see which one to go for here. Definitely no contest, I don't think, in terms of the raw speeds here. So just have a look at the load speed of some web pages. So let's go to this one. So both of them are on the maximum brightness, but you can definitely see how bright the Nokia 8 display is. It's like much higher quality here. Again, very fast to load there on the Nokia 8. Let's just try one more. Phone Arena. Again, Nokia 8 here. So I think you can see here again, very nice browsing speeds when it comes to the former flagship. We're just going to have a look at the multitasking, see if there's any differences here. I think in some markets you could get, oh, you see that reload there? I think you could get a 4GB RAM model of the Nokia 8, 6GB RAM model. This is a 4GB RAM model obviously, and you can already see how good the Nokia 7 Plus is here, managing itself. Maybe the Nokia 7 Plus with the 4GB of RAM isn't that good. But I'm definitely glad here that I've got the max RAM. As you can see, 6GB of RAM makes a huge difference here. So we're just going to have a look at the camera as well. If you're looking for your multitasking, the Nokia 7 Plus there, let's just go to this. So with the camera, I think it's 1.75 aperture or something interesting like that on the Nokia 7 Plus. And I was expecting quite a big step up in terms of the low light, really, you know, compared to the Nokia 8. Although the Nokia 8 has always had a fantastic, I think, low light performance given the price. I didn't really see a huge step up, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, it's definitely decent for like the mid-range kind of category the phone sits in, but I think the Nokia 8 still stood its ground quite well. Very clear pictures. I think the main issue is the slow focusing, which does seem to have been improved on the Nokia 7 Plus. It's much faster to focus now compared to the Nokia 8, and that does lend to more reliable shots. Good light, very comparable, probably a little bit better in terms of the bokeh on the 7 Plus. You can see they're very competent in terms of the video on both of them doing 4K, and obviously coming with some very nice motion in terms of, you know, not too jerky and janky. Hard to really tell much of a difference, to be honest, but as I said, it's just the focusing to me that's improved quite a lot actually. So the 7 Plus has a very solid camera here, lots of modes to explore, like, you know, the bokeh mode, etc. And definitely, you know, worthwhile. But I think really, if I'm going to be honest with you, I still prefer the Nokia 8 overall. It's just a much nicer phone in terms of the screen, the performance, as well as the price. You know, it's pretty much the same kind of price as the 7 Plus. Really, you know, if you're looking at it head to head. Yes, if you want the maximum battery life and, you know, nice kind of like bezel-less design, then the 7 Plus does come with that, as well as like a nice kind of chamfering around the edges here. So there are definite improvements here, but definitely don't discount the Nokia 8. You know, it's fantastic value for money, probably the best value for money you can get right now in terms of a high-end kind of chipset. I think that Nokia 8 has, you know, potential to dethrone OnePlus when it comes to the budget flagship. You just need to really focus on getting the camera like it used to be, like with the Lumia series, launched for 500-600 euro, and then, you know, that's it, they'd own the market. But yeah, just a little comparison here between Nokia 7 Plus and Nokia 8. Hope you find it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.